Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're going to talk about some planetary alignments that will be affecting all of us. That's right, today we are talking a little bit about the Lionsgate, but maybe in a different way than you've heard about it in the past. So I really want you to know that we're really kind of on the cusp of a really big change. And it's kind of like standing right there on the edge, kind of like, where are we going to go? What are we going to change? And I would say for many years, it's kind of been our possibility, like we could change or we could stay the same, or we could change or we could stay the same. But right now we are on like kind of a collision course with making some major transformations and really some amazing ascensions kind of unfolding before us. And at this moment, I would say that the Lionsgate Portal of 2022 is right there. I know, it's kind of like, interesting. I know, so let's talk about this a little bit more. So it's time that we really start letting go of some of the old things that don't work anymore. And so a lot of things that I've seen lately are things that are working and people are willing to throw them away anyway. And that's not what I'm talking about. These are things that don't work. Things that kind of like, there's no rhyme or reason why we do this, but we're still doing it kind of thing. And I think that's kind of the interesting part about all of the changes that have come up in the last couple of years or so. Some of them have been great changes. Some of them have been kind of like, kind of so-so changes. And then some of them have been like, why are we changing this? This actually works. This works for the majority of people. And I think that's kind of something that we really have to keep in mind, is kind of like, if it works for the majority of people, then we need to keep it. If it's working for the least amount of people, then let's change it or modify it or make it better so it'll suit more people. I will say this is really kind of embodying kind of our ascension process, kind of how we embody our light and our spirit. It's kind of talking about our destiny of where we want to go. The Lionsgate is a very special time, and it's kind of a sacred time of year. And the Lionsgate is kind of all about that energy of, what are we ready to change into? What are we willing to change or modify? Even if we've been stuck in stuff that hasn't worked in the past, what are we willing to change now to make up for this? What are we willing to kind of upgrade and kind of modify into? So that's something to really kind of keep in mind. It's kind of the beginning of a new cycle. In a few days, we are going to have the Lionsgate season on us, kind of like the lion season coming into us. And then we're also going to have the Lionsgate opening up. And all around the same time frame, when that's all opened up, we also have a new moon in Leo, which kind of giving us that push forward of kind of, what are you willing to change or modify or take onto? So this is a really, really amazing energy to kind of like, oh my gosh, where are we going with this? And make some huge changes. And I want to say like creative changes, because I think a lot of times like people are like, let's just make a change. No. Make a creative change, something that you've thought about, something that you've worked through, something that you've really put some time and effort into, not just like, oh, we'll just make this change, we'll just throw it on there kind of thing. No. Let's make some really good, amazing changes of what we want to bring into our life and what we want to start new. Kind of the Lionsgate is all about kind of like starting something new. Like I said, we've got the Lionsgate, we've got Leo season, and then we've got this kind of like Leo moon of new moon of kind of, where do you want to go with all of this? Where do you want to take this? What's the next level you want to move this into? Literally, the sacred time of year really starts on July 26th time frame. And I will say it's a great time on July 25th to really think about it. What do you really want to change? Kind of take some time. This is a really good time to call in a little, maybe sick, or take some extra time this day on the 25th of, where do we want to go? What do we want to change? What do we want to modify? What do we want to do differently in this Leo season? And then we've also got that Lionsgate opening up on August 8th. And so that really kind of opens our potential of kind of like, where do we want to go with this? And then we also have this new moon in Leo right around that same time frame. What do you want to change? How do you want to change things? What is it? And I often tell people, go into meditation, because sometimes that third eye vision can really tell you, what do you want to change? What are you willing to change? And what are you trying to make differently than you've done in the past? Because a lot of times what we've done in the past isn't working, or part of it's working. So kind of keep what's working and release what's not working, and kind of like, okay, let's make some changes here. What else can we change or modify or do differently than we've done in the past? And I think that's a really great way to put it, is kind of keep what's working and then release what's not working and kind of upgrade it. I do this a lot myself, and I've done it over the years of kind of, this part works, so let's keep this, and then what else can we change around it to make this work even better. I will tell you that for ancient years, our ancestors have celebrated this Lionsgate opening. All of them in kind of like their own way, or their own divine way of kind of connecting to the gods or to the planets, and kind of opening up that energy. You see that in the Mayans, to the Egyptians. So many of them are kind of like opening up. And then they've also got this star Ceres that comes in and kind of just aligns everything over the top. And that's the great part. And that's really what happens and opens the Lion Gate from the 26th through August 12th. So kind of that's where we're going with this. Kind of where are we going with this? And this is a royal star. And this is really conjunct our sunrise and our sun, and really pushing some amazing opening, new beginning energy coming in there. This is a great time to communicate with your archangels, your guardian angels, and kind of where else do you want to make some changes? What else are the upgrades you're choosing to make at this time to move forward? That's a really cool one. The Lionsgate Portal is guarded by two royal Syrian lions, and it's known as the lions of yesterday and tomorrow. And this is really a sacred text of kind of like allowing these gatekeepers to keep your energy protected, but what are you willing to step into? What are you willing to move into? What is the new cycle that you're ready to start in your life? What is the new stuff that you're really ready to open up into? Like I said, angels, archangels, guardian angels, all of those are ready to kind of like help you on the journey. All you require is asking for them to join you, asking for them to kind of help you with this transit of kind of, where do we go in all of this? Where will you be drawn? And I know that there's a lot of planetary energy shifting at the same time, and a lot of people are really, I don't want to say concerned, but ready to make some changes. And they're concerned, like kind of like, do I want to stay in the past, or do I want to move into the future? I will tell you, the future may be a little scary. That's what I hear from a lot of people. But that's the fun part, is kind of like, what is it that you're choosing? What is it that you choose to start? This is a super powerful time. If you haven't figured this out in all of this message, it's a super powerful time to kind of connect our human side with our archangels and our guardian angels, and kind of bringing them in together and working together. What can we create together? What can we open up into much easier, much more easily than we could any other time of year? This time has a great potential and a great power over the next couple of days to kind of bring in this journey. And I will tell you, kind of, I love that part. I love the kind of like, what are the possibilities we could move into? What are the possibilities you're ready to move into, or I'm ready to move into? This is kind of a pathway, kind of like symbols of pathways of kind of like, where would you like to go? Would you like to open your own business? No. Would you like to do this? Would you like to do this? You have to choose really based on your own personality. I often tell people this with when you're looking at a job, kind of like how many hours a day are you going to be meant talking to someone? Maybe that's your love and you love talking to people. Great, do that. Maybe if it's talking to a computer all day and you love doing that, then do that. Don't do something that you don't like. If you're a computer person and you have to talk to people all day, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be satisfied with your job. Same way if you're a people person and you have to talk to a computer all the time, you're not going to be happy. If it was a little bit of your time, you're like, yeah, I could do that. But if it's the majority of your day, then don't take it. So find something that really suits your personality. What is it that really suits your personality, and what do you want to draw into you? What is it that you're choosing to bring in? I will tell you that kind of a lot of wisdom is really brought forward at this time, and I almost go back into like the Leo, the lion part of this. So many times lions are kind of trained by their parents. This is where you go and eat. This is where you kind of get some water. This is where you go. This is what we do during the heat of the day. This is what we do during this time frame. And we're taught by other people. So find a mentor, someone that you really, really look up to, and ask them to go through this process with you, kind of like help you or guide you as much or as little as they want. And maybe you have 2 or 3 mentors, and kind of it's one of those. And my suggestion for mentors is, if you're not willing to change lives with them, don't talk to them about it. Does that make sense? It's one of those that's really important. So kind of where are you on this journey and what's coming in? One of the things that I've gotten for many, many months now is kind of the changes that are coming in this time frame is kind of that divine feminine and divine masculine energy combining. And it's one of those, and not necessarily putting down one side or the other. It's not about putting down, it's about raising each other up. It's one of those, if you feel like, wow, there's people beneath me that are kind of learning what I learned last year or 5 years ago, reach down and kind of pull them up to your level. And that's what we're talking about, is kind of like realigning this energy to kind of find that right leadership of where we want to go, and kind of like who's been where I want to go. And so they can show me the pathway, so they can show me the right frequency to connect into to make these changes. But I guarantee you, it's all about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, finding new leadership roles. This is going to kind of change our world for so many different reasons. When we kind of stop fighting each other and start working with each other and start pulling each other up, kind of like, yes, I've made it, so you can do it. This is how I did this, and this is how I did this, and kind of all of that energy. And you see that with like almost every one of the videos you see on YouTube. Like, I made $1 million this way. I did this with my company. I did this marketing plan and it did this. You see all of these suggestions and ideas, and it's not necessarily putting anybody down. This is what worked for me, so let me teach you what worked for me. And so that's kind of bringing in this new energy of kind of like new seeds of kind of like bringing in this new energy up and about to kind of make some new differences in what's going on. I would say one of the most important things to really keep it in mind is to stay grounded. Not necessarily pie in the sky ideas are going to work. Grounded ideas are going to work. Grounded ideas, because they're almost like seeds. So you want to ground your ideas as a seed in the ground, and then fertilize it and water it and kind of nurture it. What are the other things that can come from this? It's one of those, making sure that what you're divinely looking for is coming out. So if you plant a seed of an apple and you put it in the ground and you get an orange tree, you got the wrong thing. It may not be a bad thing, but you didn't get what you asked for. You didn't get what you really, really decided to have in this time. So it's one of those, be really careful about what you plant in that seed, what you plant and fertilize and take care of and water and nurture, bringing that up even more. So this is a great time. And there are changes even from last year's very powerful. In 2021, we had a super powerful Lionsgate open up, because we had a Lionsgate that opened up on a new moon in the sign of Leo. So that's going to be really, really good. This one's going to be off by a couple of days, but I guarantee it's still going to be as powerful. And this is a great time to kind of bring in that energy, that foresight of where do you want to go with all of this, kind of where do we want to take this energy. It's going to be very powerful. And so that's really important, kind of like, where do you want to go with this? What do you want to do? And this is the time to make those decisions. Now, I normally do a different set of angel cards. This is one of my newer decks that I haven't been using all that long, but this one is Star Codes. And so I'm going to pull a couple of angel cards and hopefully get us a little bit deeper insight into all of these things. This one is literally popping out. And this one comes through, and it's oppositions, and it's really meaning confrontations. If there's a confrontation, if there's something that's not working for you, make sure that you let it go or decide, like, maybe it's just not the right time. Doesn't mean that it's totally the wrong person or the wrong thing. It could be that you're pushing something in the wrong time zone, or it's not quite ready for that. Almost like the recipe is not ready for that part yet. So maybe we need to set that aside so we can get a better energy in this. My next one that's coming forward is Pallas Athena. Pallas Athena. And so this is all about like thinking. When is the perfect time for you to bring in this energy? Kind of when is the great time of kind of bringing in the new stuff, and kind of where are we going to go with that? My next card is the North Node, and this is all about the future. Moving into, what are you willing to move into? What are you willing to amplify or de-amplify at this time? Like, I want to go there, so that's what I'm going, and kind of keeping your focus on that future. This is going to be really important. This one's solar calmness. These cards are so pretty. And this is all about clarity. Kind of like, what is the clarity you're asking for? What is the clarity that you're really, really desiring at this time frame? I really want you to understand this is a really cool time, and kind of clarifying for yourself, what am I moving into? And having things that share that energy everywhere. Putting them on your goal poster, putting them, pictures of them in your car, your vehicle, putting them on your notebooks that you read every day, kind of putting them on the refrigerator, putting them on the front door, putting them everywhere you can, so that you stay focused on what you're trying to bring into. This is Juno, and this is all about partnerships. And so this is a really important one, because there's all different types of partnerships. Some people think, oh my gosh, partners, I'm saying, are a liability, or they're not good. Oh no, partners can come in many different fashions, and some of them are literally about just sharing their knowledge with you. Some of them could be that they're coming in to help you with the business, and maybe they're like, oh, they don't really know my business. Maybe they don't, but maybe they're just good at something, and bringing in that wealth of knowledge and that information is going to be very powerful for you and for them as well. Kind of what's coming in next. Neptune, this is all about vision. What are you envisioning for yourself? Where do you want to go with this energy? Where do you want to bring in this energy into? So that's really important to kind of think about, kind of what is my vision and where do I want to go with this? And really thinking about the Lionsgate of what you bring into. This is the 8th house, and this is all about the mystery. And I think that's a really important card, because we have so many mysteries. We have so many things. I like this and I like this, and they're completely opposite. You will combine two opposite things that you never thought you could, or never thought you should, or anything else. It's one of those, that's the cool part, is kind of making something new, creating something brand new that no one else could create, is something that's going to be your signature, putting things together that no one else would. That's really cool. I think that's one of the important parts of really thinking about what's coming through and how are we going to do all of this, is really thinking about what do you want to bring in and how do you want it to show up for you. This one is Virgo, and this is all about digest. Kind of think about it. Kind of allow it to sit in there. Is there anybody else? Virgos are all about kind of like gathering knowledge and wisdom. And so is there someone else that you could get information from and kind of digest that? Kind of like, they did this and they did it incorrectly, or I think they did it incorrectly. How can I make changes or modify this or upgrade this? And integrate or ingest those ideas. The next one is, oh, this one's upside down. This one is Aries, and it's all about acting, kind of like putting your ideas into motion, not just like blah, 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 whatever, someday I'll do this. No, 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 no. Put them into action. Start putting them down. I often tell my students, when you're really thinking about something, get a notebook and start jotting down the ideas. Now, my favorite type of notebook is a 5-subject notebook, because you've got papers where you can kind of write things down on. You've got some pockets in there where you can put some ideas, and kind of putting all of your ideas down and what do you want to create in your world. That is important, to kind of put all of these great ideas into one area. So it's one of those, it allows you to kind of make some new information, kind of like allowing that to come in, allowing that to make movement and action into where you're going. This is Mars, and this is all about motion, being in motion. When you're writing things down, when you're looking up ideas and you're jotting down in your notebook, you really are moving forward in what you want to do and kind of where do you want to go with all of this. I think that's one of the important parts. I like cards sticking together, of kind of like, where do you want to go with this part? Where do you want to make this change or upgrade and movement moving into? This is Libra, and this is all about balance. When you start something new, it's one of those, it doesn't mean you start something new and it starts on this level. It starts down here, and you have to dedicate time and put time and effort and energy into it to bring it up balance to what you're doing now. It's not like, oh, quit your job today and this will kind of sustain your life. No, not likely. Start it here. Put some effort and some energy and put some good energy into it, and it will change what you're getting out of your business. And the more you put into something that you love, it's kind of like you really don't work again. I feel like I work in my business all the time, but I don't feel like it's like, oh, I have to go to work. It's like, I get to go and play with clients today. I get to help somebody's get a new message from the other side or insight that they don't already have in their life. That's the fun part for me, is kind of like making those changes, making those adjustments now, when people can make those changes and really incorporate the messages from the other side. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.